You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you another Let's Play episode of Far Beyond the World. And as you can tell from the last episode we left off, things are improving with Ranok, with his tribe in general. You know, he vouched for us, Verissa vouched for us, Vol vouched for us. We're not dead! Yay! We get to continue! But anyway, guys, let's jump right back into it. I hope you all enjoyed the video for the next 20 minutes. And, are you up? Are you up to the task alarm, Chan? Yes, you are. Okay. Alright. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Well, I've never been stabbed before, but this thing feels too good for a grave wound. I kind of forget it's even there most of the time. I, for one, am glad. I would like to put this whole mess behind us. I nod in agreement, and we both gaze idly at the window. He leans back, tensing out his exposed belly, and I have to fight the urge to just pet it. I don't understand my bizarre attraction to him. It feels very sudden. He's charming, alright, but it's not typical for me to get lost in a guy like this. Or is it? After all, I did lose all my memory, but I'd like to think I wasn't this easy to wrap around a finger. Still, something about this wolf is different. He's quirky, a bit forward, and too full of himself, but at the same time, extremely vulnerable. I think he let himself be boxed up his entire life, and our little mishap proved it best. I can feel a blush slowly creeping onto my face, as I'm reminded what I actually wanted to talk about. He's not alone, even if we're just friends. I want him to know I understand what he's going through. Ranok? He looks at me with a soft smile. I wanted to tell you something, but I don't know how. You seem to have a pretty good grasp of our language. He smirks. It's not that. I struggle. This is much harder to do than I thought. He just looks at me with a smirk, raising one brow in a teasing expression. Damn, he knows how to disarm me. It's about yesterday morning. I finally spill it out, looking away at the window. Oh. I would rather not talk about that. His voice takes on a more serious tone. I swallow heavily, not wanting to leave the matter unresolved. I just want you to know that I don't... Oh, fuck. I sigh. I don't mind it, okay? And if you do, I hope you won't start calling me defective. I cringe, really unsettled by the term. I would never. Good, because I don't think it's right. I don't think anyone should feel wrong or broken just because they... like guys. I finish, not even looking at him. I can't believe I just said it, but I'm glad I did. It had to be said. I hear the wolf readjust himself as he turns to face me with an expression full of disbelief. Wait a moment, you like males? Fuck. Well, how did you not pick up on this? All the teasing, all the blushing. It's hard to force myself to face him, but I have to look into his eyes, otherwise, what's the point in bringing all this up? To my surprise, his expression is kind and a little bit expectant. I can almost see a light lit up above his head. I hope we can still be friends. Of course we can. He scoffs at me as if it was never a question. I'm glad to hear it. But, uh-oh. I'm not like you. Are you sure about that? He grimaces with embarrassment. I really do like females. Really? Really? Oh. I freeze, looking at the window. In truth, I just want to jump out of it. Okay, you jump out the window, you're just going to land on the grass. Besides, you're rather small and wrong species, no? He cuts me off with a chuckle, almost as if trying to save me embarrassment. I laugh nervously. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It doesn't change anything between us. Of course it does. I just made a fool out of myself. Fuck! I guess I've seen too many stories to think this would work out the way it would. But I guess it's for the best. I really don't feel I'm in control of my emotions, and I'm just shifting from one extreme to another. I'm so dumb. Why would I even think of a romance in my current situation? You okay? You've gone pretty quiet. I hope you're not taking my rejection too hard. He winks at me in a clear jest. Rejection? You should be so lucky. Who said I'm interested? I punch his arm teasingly, nervous laughter escaping my lips. Whatever you say, Tiny. He chuckles and plops down on the bed. Now, I don't know about you, but I really need to get some sleep. He makes an exaggerated yawn, his tongue coiling up inside his maw like a snake. Would you close the shutters? Sure. I walk towards the window, allowing the wolf to splay himself out when I suddenly stop in my tracks. Wait, you have fucking shutters and you're only mentioning them now? Yeah, why? This whole mess could have been avoided if they were closed to begin with. Maybe, but aside from looking suspicious to others, being locked in a dark room would freak you out even more than this whole thing already did. He shrugs through another protracted yawn. I chuckle, looking at his open jaw, his tongue dangling out in such a goofy fashion. He finally closes his muzzle with a loud smack. You're on the verge of a heart attack, anyway. I shake my head with a sigh, deciding to simply drop the issue. Carefully, I relocate the clutter onto the floor. Once the ledge is cleared, I open up the window and for the first time lean out of it freely. The fresh air feels wonderful in my skin, and this little taste of the outside world only makes me want more. The forest is alive and buzzing with activity. I can hear the gentle rustle of leaves accompanied by the chirping of birds. There's even a pair of squirrels chasing each other across the canopy, jumping from one branch to another. Maybe we get to go out sometime later. I would really love that. A hike through these woods seems like a dream come true. This place looks like it's from a fairy tale. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. For the time being, I'll just follow Ranok's lead. I've put us in danger one time too many on a silly whim. I decide to simply grab the shutters and close them, allowing the dark to claim the bedroom. Since I'm no longer a secret, I leave the window open, allowing much-needed forest air to flow freely into the otherwise dark, dank room. Sorry I left you without any provisions. You must be... He interrupts, issuing another prolonged yawn. Starved. Bought you some food. It's in the kitchen. The wolf mutters and I smile, seeing he's pretty much half asleep already. Don't you worry about me. You just rest. I go to the kitchen to find a linen bundle on the table. I sit down, slowly unwrapping it to reveal thick slices of roasted ham and some forest fruits. The ham smells wonderfully, causing my mouth to water with its smoky aroma. But it's the berries that pique my attention. They're glistening with morning dew and look extremely ripe. I select one large blackberry and eat it. I immediately burst with sweet tang at the slightest touch of my tongue, bringing a smile to my face. They're freshly picked and carefully selected, which must have taken some time considering the season. Why is he trying so hard if he's into girls? I sigh, shaking my head. I'm reading into things again, while I should focus on more important matters. I'm curious how exactly the meeting went. Ranok's description doesn't fill me with confidence. I can understand Verissa being questioned a lot. After all, I myself kind of felt like she was too young to be a shaman, and I don't even know what shamans do. But the chief? He seems like one tough guy. Why would he be questioned? It's almost sounded as if the elders had a hook on him, which in and of itself sounds rather scary. I might not have a full picture to truly understand a power dynamic in this tribe, but it seems the elders have a large sway. At this point, I'm not sure if it's my place to wonder such things, or if it's my prerogative to know the details due to the situation we're all in. I simply pick up a piece of ham and bite in. It's luscious, and the oaky aroma just makes me feel warm inside. This food, although very simple, really hits the spot. Dude, smoked ham is amazing. I don't know why, but I have a feeling I was used to a much different type of meals. A bit more complex, true, but devoid of this pure joy. I regard the parcel again, seeing that the selection is rather odd. I flash my brows as I decide to give it a try. I eat another berry, while chewing a slice of ham, and to my surprise, the combination works. The sweet and savory blend is in an unexpectedly delicious way. That wolf sure knows how to please me. I look back towards the bedroom, and an involuntary smile creeps on my face as I admire Ranok's musculature. Even lazily splayed out on the bed, he looks extremely attractive. Wish I was this photogenic. Wait, photo what? Another of those weird fucking words I somehow understand but I have no context for. If this continues much longer, I'm going to go insane. There goes my appetite. I just sit there, looking at the window with slight worry. I might be finding my bearing among these wolves, but I'm as much in the weeds with regards to who I am as was the day I woke up. I'm just starved for answers, and I'm sure this is the reason why I push for additional information whenever I can. I need to keep an eye on this. I don't feel like pressing Ranok for unnecessary details, especially if it doesn't feel like divulging them yet. So far, trusting him worked just fine. Realizing I won't be able to eat anymore, I simply walk to the cupboard and wash off my hands. I guess I should rest a bit as well. My body's aching all over from sleeping rough. As I return to the bed, I can see that Ranok is already fast asleep, snoring slightly as his massive chest expands and falls down in a slow rhythm. His muzzle is burrowed into the pillows and slightly opened, allowing his saliva to dribble out. I smile, knowing all too well how this wolf drools in his sleep. I'm glad it's the pillows that will now soak up all the spit. You're so cute for someone so big, I mutter, fighting the urge to just rub his belly, but he is too darn adorable not to. My hand reaches towards his breast, and I hesitate for a moment. That's when a lazy stretch tenses up his body as the wolf readjusts himself slightly, and I cannot help myself anymore. I let my hand sink into the lush coat of his chest, ruffling it gently. My fingers slide beneath the moonstone, for the first time feeling its surface. It's polished and heavier than I expected. I move it slightly out of the way so I can rub his breasts. His expression adjusts into a soft smile. He's clearly enjoying this even through sleep. I move my hand gently towards the abdomen, trying not to stir him from his slumber. I ruffle his coat around the navel, drawing another idle stretch from the wolf. I chuckle quietly. He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die! My fingers brush across his entire belly, his coat soft and inviting. But even now I can clearly feel defined muscles beneath all that fur. He really didn't have an idle moment in his life. I press slightly harder as to give his abs a slight workout. He groans softly, and I instantly blush, noticing his crotch tense up. I'm no longer sure which one of us gets more out of this little stimulation. I allow myself a few more moments, but as I notice my own excitement, I decide to stop. I exhale heavily, trying to release the pent-up tension. This got slightly awkward. I rub my hands uncomfortably, trying to figure out what to do. For a moment, I consider returning to the floor, but then I remember his own words. Ranok wouldn't be happy if he found me like that again. I look back at him, still sleeping in perfect bliss. He looks so peaceful that I decide to simply lay beside him, although keeping appropriate distance. He made it clear he's not interested, so I'll respect our personal spaces. Last thing I want is another awkward accident. I know his tendency to roll over, so I simply take one spare blanket and furl it up to create some sort of divide between us. I lay there for a moment, feeling most of my body ache. Sleeping on the floor was not good for me, so the soft bed accompanied by his rhythmic breathing quickly puts me to sleep. Sleepy Orien. But we don't get too long to sleep, as Ranok gets up after just a few hours. I have to admire his self-discipline, as getting out of the bed is almost like an uphill battle for me. Good lord, I definitely feel that. That's a damn mood. What's all this about? Ranok points to my makeshift barricade as he rubs his eyes. I thought it would, prevent, I wince uncomfortably. Oh. The wolf mutters sleepily. Oh! He almost shouts out in sudden realization. I can return to sleeping in the kitchen if you'd like. He proposes nonchalantly, and this time I'm the one shouting out in panic. No! No! That is the last thing I want you to do. Well, this makes things a bit weird, though. He gazes reluctantly at the rolled-up blanket. After what you said, I didn't want to. I try to explain myself, but he cuts me off. Don't worry about it. It was a one-time fluke. He laughs. I simply never went to sleep like that before. Effectively snuggled up to someone. It was just to keep you warm, remember? The wolf winks and gets up. Why are you winking? You're throwing off some crazy signals here, buddy. It'll never happen again. Yeah, I mumble, looking as he approaches the window and opens the shutters. He stretches out as the light floods the room again. I watch as he goes into a whole routine of exercises, touching his toes and arching himself backwards. It's quite embarrassing to just sit here, but it would be even more so to join him and make a fool out of myself. I'm stiff like a plank, especially after sleeping rough. I have to run some errands today. My father is in a rather sour mood, as you can imagine. I need you to stay out of sight while I'm gone. Although you're allowed to stay in the village, you're still kind of controversial. Yeah, I figured. There goes our hike in the woods. Don't worry, it's not permanent. Not if I can help it. At the moment, you're freaking everyone out a little bit, but it should pass with time. I'm not happy about being cooped up in this house any longer, but I don't exactly have a choice in the matter either. I'm working with Varissa on a plan to smooth things over. Once that's done, you'll be introduced to the tribe proper. And that means... Let's worry about it when we get there. He snorts, rubbing his nose. That's another non-answer, as usual. I should start getting used to those by now. He walks away into the kitchen, and I decide to follow. We take turns with the water bowl, and during my wash, I realize my teeth feel rather coarse, and my breath is not what I'd like it to be. Do you guys clean your teeth at all? Perhaps with a brush or some paste? I swear, that theory about you being a lost human noble begins to check out on a near-regular basis. The male laughs, approaching me with a teasing smirk. He presents me with a little birch twig, its flesh young and juicy. Grind it in with your teeth and then use the bristles to clean. He demonstrates, gnawing on an imaginary twig. I shrug, no longer questioning this Renaissance fair I'm living through. In truth, it's actually all quite interesting. The twig has a rather pleasant, fresh flavor, almost citrusy, in fact, and to my surprise, it's quite effective in what it's supposed to do. Once I'm done, I rinse my mouth and look at Ranok, who approaches me with a smile. He randomly puffs into my face, his breath smelling incredibly fresh and pepperminty. That's when he hands me a small bushel of fresh peppermint. Chew on it and you'll be all set. Oh, God, I remember doing that when I was a kid. We've got, peppermint bushes that grow around here. I love to chew on them. Shit, I might go out and chew on some today. He winks. I take a few leaves and put them into my mouth. I flash my brow in amusement. It's not that bad. Seeing that there isn't anything into which I could spit out the most leaves, I simply swallow them. I mean, it's just peppermint. Ranok scrambles around the house frantically, collecting different bits and pieces of his gear. I join the wolf in the bedroom, resting against the doorframe and watching as he hastily combs his neck fur. I'm late for a very important date. It's hard to stifle a chuckle, both at his sorry attempts at taming his fluff and the fact he's using the very same weapon I tried to fend off Vulgor. You need any help with that? Would you? Really? He sounds almost pleading. Sure, why not? I approach the wolf, who passes me the comb with slight embarrassment in his eyes. I'm in a bit of a hurry, so this will be a great help. Don't worry about it. I snicker, sinking the comb into his lush neck. At first, I'm worried there'll be some tangles to struggle with. I wouldn't want to pull too hard, as to not cause pain. However, his fur is well kempt. You think he'll take long? I ask while running the comb from the back of his head to the base of his shoulders. The sound of his fur against the comb is almost as satisfying as the brushing itself. I hope not, but you never know. Father wants me to deal with a few things. The idea of staying here alone is just as novel as it is slightly distressing. For some reason, I almost feel vulnerable when he's not around. What things? I'd rather not discuss that now. He sounds troubled, and although it does pique my curiosity, I decide not to pry. Ranok's made good on coming forward with information at the right time before. I don't have a reason to distrust him. He groans softly, closing his eyes as I continue to groom him. Truth be told, brushing him feels rather nice, and I can see he's enjoying it as well, as his tail begins to swish energetically. Right, that'll have to do. He smiles, running a paw through his fluff. Thanks. No problem. I shrug. Honestly, I don't think I did much at all, as his fur was tidy to begin with. I'll try to come back as soon as I'm able. Versa should check on you later today, to change your dressing. Before you go, I would need to, use the facilities. The wolf blinks. The facilities? What are you talking about? Oh no, he's making me spell it out for him. I really hate that I have to announce my toilet breaks. It's really awkward. I need to water the bushes? Oh! He finally exclaims in understanding, quickly looking at the kitchen door. Just use one of the buckets in the other room. Now I'm the one who blinks. You can't be serious. Are you telling me you're doing your business in a bucket? What? No. Then what made you suggest me doing it? Well, I assumed you just needed to pee, but if it's the number 2, then I... No, it's not number 2! I interrupt him, completely mortified about his entire conversation. I just won't be peeing into a bucket. La-di-da, my lord. Would you like a Gudetama egg platter, my lord? He gets up, genuflecting in a mocking fashion. If your highness wants to do his business outside, you have to go through the window. He nods towards the ledge, and I sigh in mild annoyance. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Well, I meant to keep you out of sight, which is part of the whole deal here. Using the front door isn't an option. He snickers, bumping at my shoulder teasingly. Fine, but I don't think you'll fit through. Good thing you're tiny, then. I give him an annoyed stare, grumbling under my breath. I will find out your pup name if it's the last thing I do. Sure you will. He laughs, walking towards the kitchen. I'll meet you on the other side. I shake my head and approach the sill, slowly pulling myself onto the ledge. Once I'm up, I look around for any sign of the wolf. It takes him a while to walk around the house, but once he arrives, he extends his paw, helping me down from the ledge, all the while smiling as I clumsily clamber over. This is ridiculous. The wolf gives 2 quick glances in both directions, ensuring no one's around the house. Alright, here we go, guys. Alright, that has been another episode of Far Beyond the World. Oh, alright, it's turned into a bathroom break episode, which is pretty funny. Anyway. I mean, look at all the damn... Ooh, actually, human scent. The canines are going to pick up on that very quickly if he pees outside. Yep, I'm calling it now. They're going to get curious. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!